Carbon Copy, Chapter 3. Lilly needed to accomplish a million things before her trip. She'd arranged a 10-day vacation starting in the Florida Keys with Mother, Luke, and Grier. She prayed Grier would still join them, but with Dr. Garrison in the ICU waiting for a new heart, the odds of Grier leaving his father's bedside were slim to none. Besides work, Lilly needed to pack, run errands, and shop on Madison Avenue because the next few days would fly by. At least she hoped they would. She craved some downtime in the sun. Lilly and Luke arranged to meet their mother at the Miami airport and drive together to the Florida Keys. Getting their mother to agree this would be a great trip for the Thanksgiving holiday was like pulling teeth. "It's not like we're asking you to cook, Mother," Lilly recalled telling her. "I've been to the Keys," her mother said. 25 years ago. Okay, but I want to remind you I'm only doing this to see my sister Clarice," she said. "Yes, Mother," Lilly said, not speaking the other words inside her mind. Her very dominant and demanding mother forced Lily's submission. Lilly didn't understand why her mother never wanted to go to the Florida Keys, especially during this optimal time. It wasn't too hot or too crowded. She looked forward to spending a whole week bumming around Key Largo and Key West. After a week in the Florida Keys, they'd drive up the east coast of Florida to Daytona. Aunt Clarice and Uncle Otis ran a bed and breakfast in a historical home. Mother reserved all the rooms for Thanksgiving weekend. Clarice wished to cook a feast for everyone. Like Lilly, her twin cousins, Kitty and Pat, were also University of Florida alumni. On the Saturday after Thanksgiving, everyone would drive to Gainesville, Florida for the Florida versus Florida State football game. Lilly couldn't wait to be back in Gainesville. Hell, she couldn't wait to get out of town, period. With a few hours to kill before meeting Grier at the ICU, she looked outside. Dark clouds obscured the sky and rain poured down, killing her desire to shop on Madison Avenue. Lilly plopped down on the couch and retrieved her remote control. She leaned back and prepared herself to dissect her latest newscast. Her tabby cats, Summer and Sully, short for Solstice, jumped onto her lap for their much-anticipated scratch behind the ears. The soft rumble of their purrs brought a smile to her lips. Relief poured through her as she watched how she kept her shock from showing on her face when she read about Dr. Garrison's heart attack last night. Her ego inflated over her triumph. Lilly dared to compare herself to the CNN reporters and switched to the national news channel, incredulous at the words spewing out of the male reporter's mouth. "Who'd have thunk?" Ugh, Lilly cringed. She hated it when reporters used trendy slang because it gave them all a bad name. And she didn't know where to start criticizing a reporter's wardrobe. Although it pained her to watch a fellow journalist look bad and screw up on television, she still laughed. Sully's ears rotated at the sound of keys unlocking the door, announcing Luke's arrival. Sully abandoned Lilly and ran to greet its owner, as if a cat could truly belong to anyone. "Hey, look at you little hussy." Luke walked into Lily's apartment, conveniently located across the hall from his own. Lilly flagged him off without making eye contact and continued watching the rest of today's news. "Doing your homework, eh?" Luke asked. "Uh-huh," she said, so eloquent for a University of Florida graduate with a degree in journalism. Still in his FDNY uniform, Luke took a cold beer from the refrigerator and planted his 6-foot frame on the wrought iron chair. No way she'd tolerate his grungy body on her sofa. For fraternal twins, they shared a lot. The same height, Curlin blue eyes, but she drew the line at dirty furniture. "Mom would crap at her pants if she saw you in your robe at 5 o'clock in the afternoon," Luke said. "Whatever." Lilly turned off the television and smiled at her brother. "Besides, I don't think our mother's ever taken a crap in her life." "You're right," he laughed and shook his head. "How's Grier's dad?" "He's in the ICU now. I'm fixing to go see him." She clenched her teeth at how easily she lapsed into Southern slang. "Can I come too?" he asked. "Of Of course you can. Grier would appreciate that. Alrighty then. I'll go hose off and still be ready before you even figure out what to wear. Yeah. She rose from the comfort of her cozy nest. What am I gonna wear? Since she would appear on the air tonight, a pantsuit seemed appropriate. Unlike the New Yorkers who wore constantly black, Lilly preferred a more colorful wardrobe. Opening her oversized closet, she scanned the various options and admired the closet organizer she'd installed herself without the aid of a man. Pulling out her burgundy Armani wool pantsuit and coordinating scarf, she hung it over the top of the door. She pulled the rich fabric over her long legs and buttoned the pants at her tiny waist. She buttoned the blazer over her silk blouse, loving the softness on her skin. She switched to her burgundy Jimmy Choo handbag with a snakeskin pattern and let the term label whore escape from her thoughts. Lilly reappeared in the living room, shocking Luke with her promptness. Of course, he'd already accomplished the 4 S's: shit, shine, shower, and shave. Adorned in his black everything, Luke smoothly transitioned to New York's color of choice. Nodding his approval of Lily's polished appearance, he gave her his arm and they headed for the door. Lilly and her twin resembled the Mattel dolls Barbie and Ken. Why do I sense that you're not just going to the hospital? She asked, suspicious his itinerary included Grier beer and naked dancing girls. But then she decided not to probe further. Sometimes ignorance was bliss.